This is Mother's Day Yoga, a flow to celebrate you. So happy Mother's Day, whether this is Mother's Day that you're doing this video on or not. I celebrate all of you mothers every day and maybe even celebrate myself a little bit. My kiddo is 12 now. I remember when he was younger. So let's do some flow and be willing to shift and change in any way that you need to. I also have a gentle yoga for moms, so if what you're looking for is more of a restful, gentle practice, then use that one instead. And if you're ready for some flowing and going, go ahead and join me in all fours. If you want to blanket the knees, place a blanket there. Whatever feels right to you. Place your hands down on the floor, get a little grounded, come into your breath. And then from here, we'll just round the spine, drape the head, drape the tail, open the back of the heart. Inhale, roll it gently in the other direction, and round it down. And come all the way back. Stretch it back into a child's pose, get nice and long. Walk the fingertips a little more forward, make sure that the neck is not holding on to any extra tension. And then from here, we'll go ahead and rise back up to all fours. I am gonna place a blanket actually under my knees. My kneecaps are a little tender today. And then from here, extend your right leg. Instead of opening to the side now, let's roll it down. Breathe here. Inhale. Exhale. Point the toes the other direction. Round in. Inhale. Reach. You can go hip height or higher if that feels good. Exhale. Round. Don't go to the highest height though. Inhale. Reach. And exhale. Round. Lower that down. Tuck the toes under, downward dog or child's pose. You make that choice. Soften the neck down. You've earned it. You get to choose. And then lower down to your all fours position. Left leg now extends. Inhale is here. Exhale, round in. Inhale to reach. Exhale, round in. If you want to take that leg a little higher, as long as you're not collapsing the lumbar. And exhale, round in. And then we'll go ahead, lower that down. Tuck the toes under and take your downward facing dog. From here, extend your right leg just hip height. Cross the right toes to the left side of the left foot. Take your hips, and instead of taking it off to the side, exaggerate the length in the left waistline, and that will bring you a really nice stretch through the left IT band. Breathe. And then lift it up and back down. Other side. Left leg reaches. Cross it over. Elongate the right side of the waistline, and breathe length here. Take this opportunity to soften the neck. Lift it up. Lift that left leg down and lower to the knees. Child's pose. Roll your wrists around a little bit here. And then from here, we'll go ahead and come all the way up. You don't need your blanket just now, so you can place that off to the side and downward dog again. Let your breathing be number one. We're going to set our intention here in downward dog. So while we have the heart higher than the head, the heart higher than the thinking mind, let's go ahead and let the contents of the heart spill into the mind and find out what our true intention is as we practice today. Whatever it is, let it be yours. Own that. And then we'll take a walk to the top of our mats. Inhale, rise halfway up. Feet could be together or separated. Exhale, fold. Maybe you're bending. Inhale, rise halfway up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. One more time. Halfway up, shoulders back. And exhale, fold with the knees bent any amount. Now everybody bend the knees round the spine, and we're gonna roll one vertebra at a time all the way up. Core musculature draws back. We're gonna bloom open into a standing position. Good. And then find your mountain pose. Samastitihi, steady and even. That's what that means in your breath. And then from here, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. You might bend the knees. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, step back into plank pose. Rock your heels forward. You can come halfway down or all the way. Gentle into your first back bend. Don't go to your fullest extent. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal it out a little bit here. And then right leg reaches out and back. Hug it in through the midline and then seal it down into a lunge. Separate the feet a little bit, slow rising up. And from here, wake it up in the legs. Feel safe in the legs. And as you're ready, you're going to circle your back heel down and open into a warrior two. Okay, so the footing is a little more diagonal on this than maybe your classic warrior two. That's okay, keep it that way. And as you're ready, we're gonna drop that back arm down, forward and up as the back heel lifts back into our high lunge. And again, top arm reaches back, warrior two. Then it leads down, forward and up, back heel lifts. One more time. So what we're doing is we're really working this back hip. Warrior two. And then all the way back up, high lunge. Reach the arms behind you, spread the fingertips wide, woohoo, and breathe here. If it feels great to hold your waist or interlace your fingers, do that instead. Find root to the floor, let that reach up through the heart, and then locate your breath. Just celebrating all of your heart, all of the times and all of the people that you've held in your heart. Reach it up, exhale, hands down to the floor. Step back into your plank pose and then move through vinyasa or choose to skip any or all of these vinyasas. On Mother's Day, of all days, you get what you want. Deep breath in and out. And then from here, we'll do the other side. So we'll step into a lunge, reaching, hugging in, and foot comes down. Separate the feet enough. You're in a left foot forward, and then slow rising up. Make sure you feel nice and awake and open through the pelvis, but not collapsed in the pelvis. And then from here, you stay where you are. I'm going to switch sides just so I can face you for this warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, top arm comes back, right arm back, right heel down. Breathe here into that modified warrior two. And then right hand comes down, forward all the way up, back heel lifts. Breathe in the high lunge. Open up and back, create your warrior two positioning. And then drop the arm down, forward and up, high lunge. Last time, circle it back, warrior two. Circle it forward and up, back heel up. Breathing here, reposition as needed. Free the neck, reaching back. Maybe waist, maybe other finger on top, opening the heart. From the floor to the heart center, lifting up. Reach up, neutralize the spine. Exhale, hands come down to the floor, leading you slowly back through vinyasa or not. If at any time you lose the breath or you feel a little tuckered out, that's a sign to come down to child's pose and skip any of the vinyasas. From here, walk your hands back to the feet. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees round the spine, restack all the way up. Bloom, open into standing, shoulders draw back. Inhale, reach up. On the exhale, we're gonna fold and walk forward into plank. Exhale, plank. Inhale here. Exhale, walk back to your feet. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, roll all the way up, bloom open, and sigh it out. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach. One long exhale for the fold and the walk forward to the plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale and plank. Longer this time. Inhale. Exhale, now walk it back. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, you can choose how you want to rise this time. If the back and the hamstrings are a little more open, exhale, hands through to the heart. All right, one more time. Inhale. Long exhale, walking forward into plank. We'll do a little different thing here. Inhale. Exhale. Take your right knee and hug it in. Even lift its ankle towards your right hip and start to create a circle underneath you. So you want to do this nice and slow without bobbing the hips up and down. Reverse that direction. This is a lot of work through the core and the hips. Really good stuff. Take it back to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale in downward dog. Exhale to plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, draw the knee in and circle it around. I told you I was going to celebrate you. I didn't tell you we were going to overwork your core. Other direction. My hat's off to you. Just imagine all the things you've stirred up, all of the times you baked those cookies for the bake sale, and back to plank. Use an exhale. We'll walk all the way back of the mat. Inhale, rise halfway up. Exhale, fold. Chair pose here. Arms where you want them to be. Nice and supported through front, back, and side body. Breathing. And then from here, open your heart, draw the elbows back. Go back into that chair. Inhale. Exhale, stand and open. Inhale, plank. Plank? Yeah, this is chair pose. Exhale. I get to blame it on being a mom, burnout. And then last time, chair. From this chair pose, draw your right arm down and back. Expand, breathe here. And then down and all the way up. Other side, left hand down and back. Expand. You can either take that arm back forward and up or go all the way around in a circle, whatever feels best for the shoulders. Then we'll stand tall, elbows back. Shake it all out. Roll those shoulders around a few times. And then roll the neck around, giving space to the head. This is the last time we'll walk from the back of the mat forward into that plank pose. Inhale for the reach. Exhale, dive down, come into that plank pose. This leads us directly into our vinyasa. Take your time, make it your own, and downward facing dog. Right leg reaches out and back. Step it through. Use your core lines. Step in wolf. Step up to your hands and rise all the way up. All right, so we're gonna come into a twist. So instead of in that opening to warrior two, this time we're gonna twist high. So right foot is forward, right arm is going to come back. If this is too much, hand on the waist, breathing here. Now find a little bit more traction. So find your front knee coming forward and your left heel coming a little further back within reason, breathing here. Then drop that back arm down, forward and up, and then bring your hands to your heart. Lean forward and then step into chair pose. Optional lift of the heels. Hug the midline with the inner thighs a little bit. Lower the heels, come to standing, reach. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway up. You can step or jump back and then move through your vinyasa or skip the vinyasa. From your downward dog, left leg reaches, hug and round, seal it down, and then rise all the way up. So we're gonna do, again, that twist towards the left knee. So make sure you're not collapsed here, that there's structure, but maybe actively move the legs a little away from each other. And as you're ready, left arm comes back, right arm forward, left hand could be on the waist here. Breathing, expansive through the chest. Then back arm comes down, forward, and all the way up. And exhale, we'll lower into plank pose. Hang out in plank for a moment. Create a left side plank. So you can stack the feet or stagger the feet here, whatever works. Option here is to bend the top knee towards your chest. Maybe touch the knee or touch the big toe or hold on to it. Maybe take yogi toe lock, breathing here. You can stay there or you can rotate it up. And then slowly come on down and come on to plank pose. If none of that worked, don't worry about it. We're going to a child's pose. Come into the child's pose. We want to give those wrists a break. So we're adding some challenge here because it's good to work our bodies. But if it's too much, you just go to the level that works for you. Deep breath in, big sigh out. Stay where you are. I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen, and I'm gonna go to this side. Come into plank pose. Right hand underneath. Find either staggered foot or stacked. Maybe bend that top knee. It's a big maybe. Maybe hand comes to the knee. Maybe there's extension. Maybe you find the big toe. Lifting that lower hip up and then taking it up for external rotation and bringing it back. Classic plank, and back to child's pose. Roll the wrists. Then rise up to seated, round the spine, and then reverse. Seated cat-cow, round, and reverse. And then shake that all out, and from here, come into a downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Big sigh out. So let this be your time. A lot of times, the only time you have is on the yoga mat and in the bathroom. And sometimes you don't have those times even. You got people crawling on you, calling you. Look to the top of your mat. Take your feet there, please. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. Choose the best way for you to come to standing and take that journey up. And bring your hands to your heart. We're just going to lubricate those hips a little bit more with a little bit more fluid motion. You might want to have a block handy for this, in fact. Block. This is not a block, it is a blanket. So you might want to have that near you, but not quite in your way on your mat yet. One day I'll get it right. No, I won't. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise halfway up, but it's a full breath. Exhale, fold. All right, from here, go ahead and take it back into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Send your roots down into the floor, contents of the heart through to the brain. And then right leg reaches. Hug in, seal it down. Put both hands on the inside of your right arch. Here's where you can lower that back knee to the blanket if you need. We're not going to stay in this one for too long. Shoulders roll back, heart lifts. Breathe and open. Ooh, I needed that. Lift the back knee. Stay low in the hips if you can. And like a tiger in the grass, see if you can be really graceful. And come to the other side, fingertips on the inside of the left arch. Stay here or lower the back knee, shoulders roll back from the ground up. Open and breathe. Lift the back knee really gracefully. You can walk the hands or not. Come into your right side low lunge. This time hands on either side of your right foot. Here's where you might place the back knee down onto that blanket. And then option to spread the toes out and actively engage through the hamstrings and the calf to bring that foot in any amount. Maybe rise up and actively hold. So this is an open chain and this would be a closed chain. For me, the open chain, and for most of us, is going to be harder because you're having to really actively use the energy of the muscles to hug in rather than holding on to it, where you're more so just hanging on and you can release some of the muscle energy. So you choose, but if you're holding on, hold on same side arm as your leg. Breathing here. Opening through the quad. So this is more active, more work, and this is a little more passive, more stretch. And roughly. And then from here, release that back foot down. Hands are on the inside of the right arch. And then we're gonna bisect our mat. So you're going to, that's why I like to have this blanket here. You're gonna take your back shin. Instead of being longwise parallel with the mat, you're gonna bisect the mat and then very carefully rise up. So it's like we're doing a warrior two. This time you might want to walk the heel more in line with the back knee, but the back knee is down. And then any amount, open here. If the pelvis comes forward enough that you feel safe there, that you can turn the inner back arch down of that foot, feel free. Reaching, gazing over those front fingertips, breathing here. Forearm comes onto the thigh or fingertips down to the floor and reach. Hand could be inside or outside of that right ankle. Oh yeah, mama needed this one. Woo, tight hips. And then reach up, maybe to the waist, and come all the way up. So be very careful. Begin to take your back hip more over your back knee, straightening that front leg. And then we'll bring this all into high kneeling. Hug the midline, breathe here. So we were just way asymmetrical and externally rotated in that front leg. So let's draw back towards the midline. Locate the breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands through to the heart, and then interlace and take it back up. Little baby twists here, freeing the spine and the shoulders. If interlacing doesn't work, skip it. And then float the arms down. Roll the shoulders back. You can come back to where you were exactly. I'm going to go right here, downward facing dog. If you want to take a vinyasa, then add your vinyasa here. If you're skipping, go maybe to a downward dog or a child's pose. And just add your breathing. And we'll go to the other side as we're ready. Left leg reaches, comes through, seals down. Both hands to the inner arch, lower the back knee. Oh, actually, hands can be, well, actually, either way. It's up to you. It's up to you, Mom. And then from here, we'll use that active energy to draw in. So you can be lower here, or you could even come up. It's really up to what works for you, okay? And then either stay in that open chain where you're doing more work, or maybe that closed chain where you can feel a little more able to release and go into the stretch. How you're tilting your pelvis will really change how you're feeding that stretch. Breathing, shoulders roll back, unclench the jaw. And then release that, hands come down to the inner arch. And then we'll bisect our mat with that back shin. Be very careful, walk a little bit forward and come on up. You might have to walk your heel, your left heel, a little more in line with that right knee. And then take that slow journey, really mindful journey, into the hips. You've got one an external, one an internal. That back arch might come down. And then you can stay here. You can reach over. Maybe that forearm is on the left thigh. Maybe you're a little lower down. So I know I needed to open through my adductors today, so that's why I'm going to go a little lower down as long as I still have that breath available to me. Yeah, whew. Take that up to the waist, slowly come up, shift it back, And then very carefully we'll come back to high kneeling. You can stay in high kneeling, or if you'd prefer to sit back on the heels, either one works because it's both more internally rotated. Draw into the midline, hands to the heart. Just locate your breathing, locate your sweetest intentions for yourself. And then reach out. And instead of offering, so instead of being a mom who's like, here you go, give, receive. Palms out, receive what it is you need. We'll keep that open heart and that receptiveness as we take our thumbs back, shoulder blades coil back, lift the heart, any amount of a modified camel pose with the hands up, lifting through the sternum, breathe. Receiving, and float the arms down, neutralize the spine, and roll it out. All right, wrap one arm on top of the other. I'll show you from the side. Round in, hug the core back, hover here, hips over the heels. So they're not on the heels, but they're roughly over. Inhale, bloom out. Exhale, opposite arm on top, hug the core back, round, round, round. Inhale, open, and exhale, float the arms down. Check in with that jaw, let that work go. And then we'll come off of the blanket and move that over to the side. And in downward facing dog, we'll join, again, rerouting, setting our anchors, shifting however you need to shift from here, whatever feels right. And then raise your right leg up, stack that hip on top of the other, and bend. So we're back into opening those hip flexors. You can stay here, or if you'd like to flip that over, either into that modified side plank, or rotate the toes in the same direction for the back bend, as long as the lower shoulder likes that. Feel free. Reaching up. Very careful. I like to almost go to a side plank variation before I go back into my three-limbed dog. That's better for my low back. Feel free. And then round in. And then downward dog. Other side. Left leg reaches. Stay here or stack. Stay here or bend. Breathing here. And you might decide that this is where you need to stay, or you'll flip it around and open any amount. Top arm up, you might come through more of a straight leg position as you rotate over the toes to come into the downward dog. And breathing here, and hug it in. And back, downward facing dog. Lower the knees, come into child's pose. Rest down. And I'm going to turn a little bit away from the sun here. It's so nice the sun came out for you, moms. You earned a nice sunny day. And if you know that pigeon pose doesn't work for your knee or your hips or your back, you'll come onto your back, make a little 4 shape here like so, and roll back this way. Or right leg comes forward, shin forward any amount, walking the back leg back, top of the foot down, breathing here. If this pose is newer to you, stay away from it until you have someone who can really keep an eye on you here. If there's any injury or anything that doesn't feel good, you can also place a blanket underneath you or a block. Inhale and exhale. Maybe come down to the forearms. You could place your head on your hands or on a block and just breathe here. If you really liked those movements we did to open the quads earlier and you want to bring that in, you can take if your left leg is back, your left arm comes parallel to the front of your mat, bend the back knee, and this time you're reaching back with your right arm, opening here. Shoulders roll back, open, maybe the heel comes closer, whatever feels good. Let's take it easy, be casual, don't put so much pressure on yourself. And then very carefully walking it up. So I want you to not be in a collapsed position in the back while you come out of this. Instead, lean forward, lift the hips, draw the core back, then slide into all fours. Downward facing dog for the other side. Left shin, left knee comes forward, walk it back. And then again, anything within reason. So you don't want to go to this huge range of movement where you feel like, I can't even breathe here. So ease in, find the wave of your breath. Inhale makes you a little longer, exhale softens you a little further. And just give way to the softer thoughts, especially because if there's a lot of tension in the hips, because you're human, and there might be a lot of tension in the hips, it might be a little more difficult to find the breath. So this is where your focus really comes in. And if you're taking that bind, right forearm parallel to the front of the mat, left arm reaches back, and here or here, whatever feels right. If this bothers your knee, then please skip that. Open heart. Slowly unwinding. And then we'll remember that we are definitely going to stabilize that low back before we transition. Hands down. Lifting and leaning a little forward, sliding it back. And then child's pose, knees together or separated, freeing up the neck. And we'll come on to our backs. Come on down. And then we'll sleep for 12 hours. Yeah, we can dream. And then reach the legs forward, stretch up, wiggle it out. Move the jaw around, maybe take a yawn. Ooh, yes, yes, moms, there was a yawn in there. And then lower it down. From here, cross one leg on top of the other, hug that all in, either hugging the knees or the shins or the feet, and just lackadaisically rock a little side to side, just real nonchalant, like this is like you're feeling no tension in those hips at all. Wink, wink. And then cross the other way, hug it all in, and rock a little side to side. And then unwind, lift any amount up, roll it down, soles of the feet down, scoot your shoulder blades under your chest, little baby bridge. Just remembering all the times you sang London Bridge is falling down. All right, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. And lowering all the way down. Favorite twist, pick a side, any side, and take a gentle twist. This is my favorite one. You might choose a stacked position or even a wrapped position, whatever works. Your breath is key, so go there. And come all the way back up. We'll switch sides. I always tell my son, like, hang on, let me find my breath. Just, I want to listen to you. I want to give you, the right amount of attention, but hang on, I'm not there yet. And then we find it. And come on back. Hug the knees in, rock a little side to side. And set it up for Shavasana. If there's a way you could make this more cozy for you, maybe roll a blanket under the knees or legs up the wall or anything like that, feel free. Take a pause and celebrate yourself for all of your hard work, for all of your kindness and sweetness, for those moments of selflessness or worry. Just nurture yourself for those moments. For the moments when maybe you got more upset than you wanted to, but you're human. And then really celebrate yourself for moments like these when you recognize that taking care of you helps better take care of the people that you love. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that you showed up for yourself, and come and visit me again. Thanks for being a wonderful mom. Namaste.